I run like full on marathon mode when I get an idea for a project. The second something clicks in my head, ooh, I'm gone. By the end of the day, it's fully planned out in my head, on paper, in a spreadsheet, hey, maybe even in a sketchbook. And that sounds productive, but there's a problem. There is such a thing as overplanning, and I found myself doing a lot of planning and not a lot of actually doing. At one point, I looked back at my files and I found a whole folder of planned projects. Well-planned projects, I might add, like detailed, organized, thought through, but nothing came from them, and they just stayed plans. And it started to become a pattern, one that my husband definitely noticed. At first, he was excited for me. New ideas, new projects, cool, yes. But after a while, he started to get a little skeptical. Like, is this actually going to happen, or is this another planning phase? And okay, yeah, that's a fair question. I didn't like the question, but it's fair. Because I had become the planner. I would obsess over the idea, get everything mapped out, feel super productive, and then move on. So I knew I had to get this under control. Not stop planning completely, because that's going cold turkey almost, but stop wasting time planning instead of doing. And to fix it, I had to understand it. Because why do I plan so much? Well, figured out part of it is fear. Fear of doing it wrong, fear of failing, and really just wanting everything to be perfect the first time around. But also, corporate life had a huge influence on this. Because in corporate, nothing moves without a plan. You need approval, documentation, alignment, structure. So planning was clarity, planning was safety, and planning was progress. So it makes sense that I defaulted to planning. But now there's no manager, there's no approval step, there's no one waiting on my document. And so all that planning doesn't actually move anything forward. Instead of planning for hours, I ask, what would I do if I had to start today? What's the first real action I could take? Something that actually produces results. This forces me to focus on the first step, not the entire roadmap. There's this idea of one day or day one. Kind of the same. I remember I spent 3 weeks trying to perfect my lighting and background setup. 3 weeks, only to hate it. And eventually I just thought, let me just film something and deal with the rest later. And that decision got me moving more than all my planning. Plus, I figured no one really cares about my background, and lighting is like, it'll change as time goes on. So here we are. And I was right. It is constantly changing, and I'm constantly working on ways to improve it. Then there's question 2. This one hurts. Because question 2 is, am I avoiding something right now? And sometimes planning is just procrastination in disguise. I'll feel productive, but I'm not working on the thing that actually matters. Like, instead of editing a video, I'll suddenly decide it's a perfect time to plan my next sewing project. Because yes, I am absolutely avoiding editing. It's not that bad, really. It's just sometimes you just don't want to do it. So now I ask myself, am I planning or am I avoiding something? And a lot of the time, I know the answer. I actually made a sticker out of this to put on my water bottle so I would see it and go, am I avoiding? Am I doing something just to do it and not to do what I have to do? I changed water bottle since then. Let's see if I could find it somewhere. The third question I ask myself is, what actually needs to be figured out? This one helps separate real planning from unnecessary planning. What actually needs to be figured out first? And what can I just learn by doing? Because the truth is, most things don't need a full plan. They need action, especially with content. I could plan videos forever, ideas, scripts, structure, but I learn way more by just filming and adjusting as I go. It's faster, and honestly, it's more effective. Fourth question is, what is the smallest version of this? This is where I stop overwhelming myself. Instead of thinking about the full project, I ask, what's the smallest version of this? What's the first slice? Not the whole pie. Because overplanning usually happens when I jump straight into the big picture. For example, starting a YouTube channel doesn't mean planning out 50 videos. It means just making one. Just one. Just to start with. And surprisingly, that's been enough to get things moving along. Kind of. But at least I took the first step. It might not be the greatest first step. It might be a little rickety. I might have fallen over a bunch of times. But it's the first step. Last question. If this fails, what actually happens? And this question tackles the fear directly. because a lot of my planning comes from trying to avoid failure. I'm trying to avoid wasting money, wasting time, wasting effort, and just thinking about what other people might think. But when I really think about it, what actually happens if I fail? Usually not much. And if I'm okay with spending the time, money, or effort to try something, then I should be okay with the possibility that it doesn't work. Because I'd rather see something finished than sit on the idea forever and wonder what would have happened. The whole live life with no regrets type thing. And then the shift started to happen. What I realized is working alone has made me overthink everything. I want systems, I want structure, I want the full picture. But that's just me going one step too far. Because in corporate, planning made sense. You needed it. But now, there's no one approving anything. So overplanning just slows me down. The goal isn't to have the perfect plan. It's to just start before you feel ready. Just start it, do it. Plan later, adjust later, fix it later. Because nothing happens until something actually starts. So now I'm curious. What's something you've absolutely overplanned, but just haven't started yet? Because really, you probably don't need a better plan. Probably just need to begin. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If this has actually gotten you to start on a project that's way past due, stop overplanning it, stop overthinking it, and just do it, let me know. With that, I'll see you guys next week. The funny part is, I think I overplanned this video thing at the beginning. I kept putting more in. It was too much. So reeled it back, kind of went, it is what it is. Kind of how I do a lot of editing too. Just pulling things back. It doesn't need to be crazy. I don't need crazy things all the time. It is just what it is. And I remember in corporate, I said that a lot, I guess, because people started making fun of me. They're like, oh yeah, it is just what it is. What can I say? It's a great saying. It is just what it is. We do what we can do. We work it out. We get things done. As long as the overarching end project is done, you like it for what it is. That was the kind of teammate I was. We're getting it done. We're getting it done on time, and it's gonna have the correct information. Anything more is extra credit, anything less, and we gotta revisit. Anyways, that's my tangent for today. I will see you guys next week. Thanks for staying this long. All right, bye.